Next final round. Here we
We're gonna
go.
spoil the shit out of this, by the way. So
Yeah.
like
So if you
like if you don't want to hear about anything regarding DC's Titans, we are gonna spoil
just
the
go
shit out
ahead.
of this.
Yeah,
So
we'll
you might as
just
well
follow us on
keep the
social, like
stream
and
up,
subscribe. Yeah,
but
just
mute
mute
us.
us. Just mute us. DC's Titans season 3 started obviously based on the poster here, August 12th, and here we are today. Came out with episode 9. Episode 9 kind of reaffirms everything I've been saying about this every time I bring it up. The poster for
Why is
season
Donna
3 for
Troy in the
Titans,
poster?
yeah, has spoiled it again. Like, god dang, man. Just god dang. Like, why would you throw her in there if you're trying to keep any kind of form of secrecy? I get it. We just, it's so stupid. But so far this season, I've enjoyed several things, and I kind of want to like throw them at you, Dom. You throw them back
Yeah,
at me.
let's
The
do it.
first number one thing, we kicked things off really hard. We already talked about this in the previous episode. We kicked things off with Jason Todd dying at the hands of the Joker, and to me that was great. It was a pretty good live action version of what happened in the comics, as far as like it's at the carnival. It wasn't as in depth, and I'm glad we didn't spend too much time on it, because most people who are kind of familiar with Jason Todd, Red Hood, Batman in general, we've already had this. Probably the demographic for the show, right? We're already aware of it. I like that it was very quickly resolved and very quickly turned into the Red Hood is alive, and then it just became a mystery of how that happened. The thing I
I
didn't like, go sorry.
no. I want to hear what you didn't like because I wonder if it's very similar to what I didn't like about
The thing
this.
I didn't like about that whole transaction was how quickly Bruce Wayne kind of, it felt like a give up. Felt like you're like, oh, I killed the Joker and now I'm out. Like be a better Batman, Dick
Yeah,
Grayson. I'm leaving Gotham. And it just, if the Batman we know and from the comics is not a quitter, he's a rage monster, and he would probably be more violent than anything, instead of just going like, oh, I killed somebody, now I can't be Batman no more.
so I want to break up what we're talking about into these segments. So I want to talk
Let's do it.
about Red
Let's do it.
Hood.
Let's do it. There you go.
Red Hood is one of my favorite characters in DC Comics. I love the story that Jason Todd was killed off by fans, and then Talia al Ghul brought him back via the Lazarus Pit as like a revenge thing to Bruce Wayne, like as a
Mm-hmm.
gotcha. Um, Here's what I do like about Red Hood and Titans. I love the scene where he has the bag of heads and he throws it on the table, very much from Under the Red Hood with Jensen Ackles.
There you go. Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, and he's like, I'm the guy now, and I'm like, all right, cool, that's Red Hood. What I don't like is that he is a very diluted version of Red Hood. I don't really care for the I'm a drug addict, the
Yeah.
whole scarecrow toxin thing. Um,
I mean,
Red
Vincent
Hood to
Cardizer is doing a great job.
He's doing a
We'll
great
talk
job.
to that
Oh
in a
yeah, yeah,
minute.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's great, and we'll talk about him in a minute. But you know, Jason Todd as a anti-hero and a villain for the first part of his character arc has always been compelling at the fact that he knows Bruce Wayne is Batman and
Yeah.
he knows all of the moves that Batman is going to make, and it's by evidence in Under the Red Hood where he's fighting Batman and he's matching him move for move, and he has a
Yeah.
knife that cuts
The
Batman's
grappling
rope,
hook that
his
tries to
grappling
grab
hook,
his
and
leg.
like
Yeah.
he slips up by calling him Bruce. Like, I mean, and then and even goes so far as to say is in Arkham Knight, the Batman game, where the Arkham Knight is Jason Todd, and like it was the word, when you're a Batman fan and you play it, and I've talked to people who are not like Batman people and played it, and they're like, oh man, this is cool. Like I had no idea. But like if you're a Batman fan, as soon as you see the Arkham Knight show up and he's like hit him between the joints, that's where he's weakest. Blah blah. You're like, oh fuck, yeah, that's Jason Todd. He knows, like he knows exactly how
Yeah.
Batman is. And
Yeah.
I feel like we're just missing that because of what you said, that Batman just gave up. Like he was just like, I killed the Joker and now I'm a bad guy, and then like I'm gonna go fucking burn myself in my mansion that looks like
Yeah.
Hogwarts in Scotland. and then Donna Troy's gonna save me, and he's like, "Am I dead?" And she's like, "No, motherfucker." And
Nope.
he's like, "But
He's
you
like,
are."
"You're
And she's like,
dead."
"Not
She's like,
anymore."
"No, motherfucker." Dude, that it's to kind of lend a parallel to like literature that people may or may not be aware of. If you ever watched the movie Murder on the Orient Express, it just came out, directed by Kenneth Branagh. Kenneth Branagh plays Hercule Poirot. Hercule Poirot is a Belgian detective from Agatha Christie. The reason I bring this up is because Hercule Poirot does not actually like he's so pure in nature that it takes him taking a life to then kill himself. Spoiler alert: the books have been around for over almost a century, but he kills himself as a result. That is a Belgian good detective, genuine person, not somebody who goes out and just bloodies up half of Gotham on a nightly basis. Like
the whole
that is a weird contrast. I
the
don't get it.
whole the whole thing about Red Hood is that Red Hood is mad at Batman because Batman did not kill the Joker after
Right.
he killed him.
It's a
And
complete
you threw all
180.
of that out when Bruce Wayne killed the Joker and then dipped. And like you still kept in the fact that he got brought back by the Lazarus pit. But now you have the reason why he's losing his mind is because he's doped
Yeah.
up. I'm like, uh, there are so many things that I love about this show. There really are. I really
Yeah.
love the guy who plays Dick Grayson. He is Dick
Oh
Grayson.
yeah.
He is the
He's
Dick.
killing it.
I love the girl who plays Barbara Gordon.
I'm
Their whole
enjoying the shit
chemistry.
out of Starfire.
The
Like,
girl who plays Starfire, the girl who plays Blackfire, um, Gar Logan, fucking Beast Boy is great. Connor, Superboy is great. Like, I mean, even in episode 9 where we finally see Raven and she's like grown up a lot, and you're like, oh, like you're an adult now. Like you were a
what
child the
happened? Oh,
last time I saw you.
COVID. Right. It's
Yeah,
been
COVID. We lost a year.
almost half a decade. You're an adult now.
Um,
It's weird. It feels weird still.
even
But yeah.
she, like, like she's compelling, and like she's on Themyscira and she's like learning how to be like Amazonian and like the
Yeah.
whole thing. I loved the ninth episode because I it was a departure of the Red Hood bullshit that's going on right now.
I have to agree 100%, man. The ninth episode, I mean, I know we're jumping 9 episodes ahead here, but to your point, the parallel in the story between in what we're considering IRL, the real world, where Raven is learning to kind of control her powers and find her Zen, etc., on Themyscira, and then on the other side of that, we've got granted in the middle we've got Bruce being moody Bruce, which is not
Yeah,
great.
moody fucking Bruce, man.
Like
Just be
Bruce,
Batman. God
yeah,
damn it.
Batman can be brooding, but he doesn't have to be a moody brooding. Like there's brooding between like in general, and
He's
then there's like
essentially playing that fucking character from Game of Thrones where
yes,
he's like
yes,
puppy
he
dog Og
is.
for Daenerys. Like that's like the character that
Because
he's playing.
I mean, shit, man, turn your heart to stone and start becoming a little more emotionless, like Batman.
I would
And then the
love
other
that they
side of
turned
that,
that around, that he's now that he's that Donna Troy said. I would love to see a complete 180.
as like a sign, and all of a sudden,
Yeah,
like the
like I
last
would
several
love for him to
episodes,
come
he's
back
just
to
like
Batman and like
just
as the kid
decimating.
puts the fucking cowl on and he's just I'm hoping that's where they go.
And he's just so upset. He's like, "All right, that's it. Scarecrow, you're in jail. Fucking
Yeah.
Jason, I'm spanking you. You're going to your room." Like that would be the best. But to your point, then the other part of that is the afterlife, which to me is one of the many things that in comic books is like the fact that life doesn't really quite end, right? Like we've got the Lazarus Pit in DC. We've got even with people like John Constantine who can help people get their soul back. Like there's a crossover and a parallel. You always see like people come back from death.
I was
What
really
I
worried
like,
that they killed Tim Drake. Oh, buddy.
dude,
I was so worried that Tim Drake was going to be dead.
if
And I was like,
Tim
fuck,
Drake
Tim Drake
was
is such
gonna
a good
die,
Robin.
we should revolt.
Yeah, I
We
was
like I
really
was
worried that they were going to kill him.
that when they start like slightly disappearing towards the end of the episode, I'm like, these motherfuckers better be coming
They
back to their
better
own
not.
body.
Do not
I
kill Tim Drake.
yeah. So like that to me was always great, and even the afterlife being in black and white was kind of nice. Like just that whole experience and the goofiness with Hawk
How
still
about
being
taking that
there. Like
one dimensional ass character and giving him some depth over this season? Like, how
I
about
love that
that?
actor.
I
That
love that
guy
actor
in
too.
what was
Wasn't he
the
Aquaman
football
in
show.
Smallville?
Yes, he was. And now he's Hawk in DC. I mean, he's awesome. Every time I
I
see him,
like him
I'm like,
too.
I love that guy. He knows his demographic and he just nails it. He
Yeah,
nails it.
he was great. I loved him
Um,
in this episode.
I definitely, but to your point, I like the separation from that Red Hood character because I feel like you keep saying, there. The point of the Red Hood is his like anger and rage, and what we're seeing is like a very brittle, weak-minded person.
He's a
And that's not
petulant
what Jason
kid,
Todd
like,
is. You know,
and
like
yeah, that's the thing. Like Jason Todd was that when he was, and I think here's what I think is the reason. Part of the reasoning behind it is that there's no separation.
mm,
Like Jason Todd
yeah,
died in this and was
that's
brought
true.
back the same night via the Lazarus pit, and then came back as the Red Hood the next day. When in the comic books, there's a lot of separation. Like he's brought back to life by Talia al Ghul, and then spends the next like 5 to 10 years of his life with the League of Assassins.
Right,
So like
right.
he's disciplined at that point, and then he remembers who he is and all of that at that point. He's not this weak-minded individual, and that's why I think that that's part of the reason why that's the case. And I just realized I'm like a big old fucking nerd. I love comic books so much. um
Dude,
but
you're not a big old nerd. I forgot to mention like the only reason I think Batman dies in the comics is because he uses a gun to kill
Dark
Darkseid.
Side.
Yeah,
They
so
pulled the
like he
okey
comes
doke.
full circle. Like,
Just
oh, the thing that started Batman was a
yeah, I
gun
love it.
killing his
In fucking
parents,
Final
and then
Crisis.
yeah,
Yeah,
and so
so
like
good.
you're not alone. You're not alone.
Yeah.
People watching, listening, they know what's up. But no, I mean, again, I hated that. Okay, I'm coming to circle things back, just like a good stand-up comedian here. Whenever I see a character that has my last name or my first name, I get a bond with that, right?
Yeah.
Where he beats the shit out of that like drug dealer,
I feel so bad because his
Hawkins.
last name
I
was
was so
Hawkins.
mad. I was like, "Damn it, man! I'm come on, like
Yeah.
we're not drug dealers now. We're drug dealers. Damn
You
it!
got the
Like
guy, you
it's
got
just pick
Hawkins.
another name.
Yeah.
Harkins. Change the
Mahaffey.
letter. I'm happy. Yeah, come on. One day I'm just be like, hey, there's an Irvin. He's
Yeah.
getting punched by Jason Todd, not me.
Yeah.
But too funny, man. It was definitely like I'm enjoying the show. I'm enjoying the content. I'm definitely enjoying the like
Vincent Kartheiser killing
dude.
it.
He
I like a
so
younger
good.
Scarecrow where he's just kind of off the rails.
Like
Um,
he definitely feels like a dope fiend who's kind of like addicted to being evil
yeah.
in a way too, but at the top of his game. You know what I mean? Like, he also comes across a little bit crazy in a sense. It's not it's hard, I think, for people to like do that separation between the Scarecrow, who is a psychiatrist who turns evil, or the Joker, who's just got all those personalities and then thus is evil and crazy, or Harley Quinn, etc. But like he's doing a pretty damn good job of playing like a stoner who also hates everybody. Like he's just
Yeah.
I,
It's true.
I want to control everybody with fear, and I
I
love
love
being
the
high. Like
I also love the little like romances that are going on in the show that Dick
yeah,
Grayson
between
and Barbara
Blackfire
Gordon
and
are hooking up.
Connor,
And
yeah.
Blackfire, my boy Connor, getting it in. My man Connor hooking up with the hottest girl on the show.
Clapping cheeks, clapping cheeks. Good for
Yeah,
him,
that
man.
was really cool too. I love the fact, I love the fact that Starfire in like the episodes like, oh, so y'all sleeping together, huh?
The funny thing is, like, I'm sitting there going, like, man, he's a clone. He's like 6 years old.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
grown ass adult body, but at the same time, it's 6 years old.
He reminds me of
My,
Rob
my,
Riggle
my
character from what was it, Step Brothers? Not Step Brothers.
pow. Yeah.
No, Rob Riggle's character from The Goods with Jeremy Piven, where he's like a
Yes.
kid trapped in an adult body.
Yes. Michael Clark Duncan. Yes. No, but to the point is like I like that dynamic. At the same time, it's funny to me because he's supposed to be so innocent and pure, and then we get like a little bit extra, like, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And but the worst part is like I feel bad for that character, not the actor, but the character, because like your first one out of the gate is like like a 10.
A 30? out of 10.
You got sorry,
It
brother,
only
you're only
goes
going
downhill from
downhill from
there.
there. Yeah, I mean, enjoy it while it lasts.
I wonder if
Um,
they're gonna do the whole, if they're gonna pull the whole love triangle between Barbara Gordon, Dick Grayson, and Starfire, because Starfire and Dick Grayson hook up a lot in the comic books too.
yeah,
I
I
would
feel like this
not
version
like
of
that.
Starfire is a little bit more like,
Yeah,
show. I had a good time.
I would really like just Dick
Mm.
Grayson and Barbara Gordon to hang out because they're pretty cute together.
Let me ask you this: what was your opinion on the reveal that Oracle was not just Barbara Gordon, but
Yeah,
Oracle
that it
was
was
like
that
a
was a
AI?
computer. Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it was a neat reveal. At the same time, it was like I
I
was
also
hoping she'd be like
forgot, fuck,
fine.
dude.
All
The last episode, not this one, but the last one, that fear toxin was released in Gotham. We got nothing to do with that in episode 9. I forgot that that was the end.
and to
Shit.
me, it was like, did we just have this? Oh wait, I'm pretty sure in Batman Begins they put fear toxin in the water supply, and Liam Neeson dies.
Yeah.
Spoiler
Cillian
alert:
Murphy
Batman
was
Begins.
great as the Scarecrow.
Yeah,
Love
yes,
Cillian
he
Murphy.
was. Yes, Peaky Blinders, killing it.
Man, he's
Which is
good.
like the casting director for that show. Oh, let me get two Batman villains. Let me get the Scarecrow. I'm gonna get Bane. I'm waiting
Forgot Tom
for
Hardy was in
Talia
that
to
show.
show up. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Talia,
Um,
yeah.
but
Marion Cotillard.
hot.
Yeah.
I have a type. But no, I'm enjoying the show. I really want to see where this
Me
kind of
too.
leads, and I hope it continues on. Now that like the DC universe is kind of in their own way join with a parent organization or a parent studio like Marvel did with Disney. DC's joined up with Warner Brothers. I'm hoping that that continues on. I know that the DC kind of those shows and movies and that studio was trying to do stuff, which is why we have Doom Patrol, why we have Titans, and why we
Yeah.
only got one season of Swamp Thing. But like
Yeah, which is fucked up because that was a good show.
I exactly like that. There's good content there. Swamp Thing is a great character.
Yeah, we got like
Now we're
14 seasons of fucking Legends of Tomorrow, which is, and they canceled Constantine. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about
I'm so glad that there are those many seasons of Legends because of John Constantine,
it. Right, yeah,
and
because
that
he's the
like
lead
more
in it.
character accurate. Like he's
Yeah,
a blonde British guy who smokes
just a
cigarettes.
dick, just a
He's
massive dick.
and he's an
I
asshole.
love it. Yeah,
He's
he's so
wonderful,
good.
and I love
Matt
the fact that
Ryan,
they
dude.
always use him. Matt Ryan. I love they use him to like voice Constantine in
Yep,
every
in the
anime
animated
like
movies
moment.
now.
It's like
Yeah,
he's
I mean
if
Keanu
you're
Reeves
gonna
was
tie your
great,
brand to
but
something,
yeah,
right. And
but
there's supposed to be a part two of that version of Constantine now.
yeah, with Peter Stormare coming back as Lucifer. So
One of my favorite versions of Lucifer. Besides, yeah, here we go. Another thing that came out in the past 3 weeks.
yeah, Tom
Lucifer, the final
Ellis,
season.
Lucifer. That
Tom
show
Ellis is
got
great.
weird. That show got a
Which
little
part?
weird.
Where it became try to
Lucifer,
become God. Spoiler
yeah.
alert.
I mean, I know
It's
that's very
been
comic
several
accurate
years.
and all that stuff. I love the beginning of that show. Just him and
Oh wow, wow.
Chloe's daughter, Trixie. And he's like, "That's a hooker's name." And she's like, "What's a hooker?" Ask your mother.
But no, Tom Ellis
He's great.
Jesus. And then I've got oh Jesus, you just said his name. Guy from Constantine playing the devil.
Matt Ryan. Oh, Peter Stormare,
Thank you.
who was
My
also
favorite versions.
Chernabog in
Yes.
American Gods, which is
Show me
another
a
show that got
Johnson.
canceled.
I know. But that
That's all I'm.
actor playing the devil, dripping
It
with
was
oil
so
as it
good.
floats down,
Yeah,
so good, so good.
yeah. And
Like
then
a
Tilda
crack
Swinton is
addict who just
Gabriel.
wants to just smell death on you. So good.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and like Tilda Swinton crushing it as like this, like almost
androgynous
sexually
Gabriel,
ambiguous. Yeah,
so good.
exactly.
Loved her.
Awesome,
She plays a
awesome. But I
great Bob
digress.
Dylan too.
No, I I haven't seen that. Oh, not
Yeah,
the docu series or whatever,
yeah,
the nonfiction, historical nonfiction film.
yeah.
Um, but no, I mean, I'm excited to see where DC goes,
Hmm.
not just with Titans, but the rest of their format. I know we've got a couple of things coming out. We got Green Lantern, we've got
Which
Green
we've
Lantern
not seen
3,
anything about. Not
Supergirl. I mean, we've got a lot of like whispers, a lot of like things from Variety.com, which is the pulse of kind of Hollywood these days.
we've seen more of the Batman than shit that has been announced for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like Andy Muschietti's Flash has been around since Justice League, the Joss Whedon cut came out. Since
Yeah.
before, I think it was around since Batman v Superman. Like, I
But
mean,
we've talked about it already. How like I personally, I think it's the safe bet, right? Like the COVID and like you know what they're doing? They're doing the same thing that I just talked about, where they're doing the analytics on.
yeah.
Okay, what's Disney doing? They
It's
got
the
more money
reason
than
why Top Gun
us.
2's been delayed 5 times because they know that their target demographic for Top Gun 2 is
Hmm.
Navy and veterans that are in their 40s and 50s
And at
that
risk,
want to go see the movie in the movie theaters.
the
That's
at
why it's
risk
been delayed.
demographic.
The at
Yeah.
risk demographic. And
Hmm.
don't get me
Hmm.
wrong, I want to see Top Gun 2 in the fucking theaters.
I love.
My
Oh,
dad joined the
yes,
military because of Top Gun.
bro. I'm definitely seeing that with my dad.
Dude, yeah, fuck yeah. Are you kidding me? And then
All
we're
day.
gonna go sing Great Balls of Fire in a fucking barbecue restaurant.
Can I come up with that?
Rest in peace,
And
Goose.
you know what though? You know what though? By the time this movie comes out, you might no longer be in the state you're in. You might be back down in in the HR. You know what I'm saying? You
That
might be
could
back in
be.
that
By the time this movie comes
symbiosis.
out, Mike Mahaffey might be 100.
Uh,
I'm just doubling down on that joke.
no, I
And as soon
know, man, but it was
as,
so
soon as
good.
the
I
the
mean,
podcast is
I
gonna
wanted
end,
to
he's gonna be
shake with
so
my
mad.
hands every time something was being rebooted, but like you're actually throwing the zingers out there.
Yeah, just
He's just taking pop shots, but I appreciate it.
yeah, he's not here to
But
defend
no,
himself.
that's right.